you being willing to do that. Well, Cindy kind of took the week off. I said, no, not really. You were there, weren't you?
I was here. I was at the meeting. I'm not sure how much
Oh, well,
I
we
contributed, but
always appreciate you being there.
well, thank you. And I want to say the same thing for Lori too. Lori, you did a great job. And I thank you so much for doing that at the last minute. I really appreciate it.
You're most welcome. It took me back to my college days when I was the secretary, my freshman year of the student government.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, everybody has seen a copy of the minutes. Are there any changes to make to the minutes of December 1st regular session? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of the regular session as submitted.
I so move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No. As far as the executive session minutes, we'll approve those at the next meeting that we have an executive session at. I don't believe we need one tonight, so we'll hold that off to the next one if that's all right with everyone.
Yeah.
Public comments are, this is a time for any members of the public. Hey, Kelsey, how are you?
Hi, I see 2 boxes with.
Oh,
there we go.
yeah, you had to, it looked like you were joining twice. Let me see if I
Weird.
can kick one of you out, but I don't know which one.
I think I'm down to 1. I see just one of me now. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I see.
Okay.
We're not going to take you out. Don't worry.
All right.
That sounded really militant, Jenna.
I'm sorry. That was not my intention.
Our public comment section. If anybody is here from the public, but I don't see anybody, and so our meeting is being recorded. It's available online, and the public questions or comments are always welcome and may be directed to Jenna at the front desk or by email, etc. So we'll move on now to the aldermanic report. Your turn, Kathy.
And I don't really have anything to report that you don't all already know for what's on the agenda. So short report.
Very good. Well, thank you.
What am I supposed to put down in these minutes? It's a secret to me.
I'm going to cover some city stuff
Okay.
All right, let's have the library director's report. Pretty great.
Great.
Picture of Hillary. on
That's
it.
a cool one.
I figure it's a new year, better switch it up a little. Yeah, so yeah, new toys coming in, which, someday these kids will come back into the children's room and be able to play with. We got some cool new dolls. I don't know. Nice stuff. It'll be used eventually. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, I don't have too much to report. We finally got our hotspots. We just need to get them cataloged, put into the computer, and then send them out into the world. And we were approached by a nonprofit. I'm sorry. I thought that was me having some feedback. Sorry. The Moses Center reached out to us. At least they're a nonprofit group, and they are trying to get an NEA grant to host a big read. And so they asked us if we would participate. I'm like, oh yeah. So we'll see if that happens or not. I think it would be dependent on them getting the grant. So.
When is it?
What's that?
When would the event be?
I'm not certain. I'm not certain on that. I think that I feel like in the past, I could be wrong, with these big read events, I thought that they were usually like a month long. But and then there was like different things at different places. It's kind of like one of those one city, one read kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So we are getting rid of the library app that we currently have. I don't know if anybody uses that. Do you, Lori? Okay. Yeah,
I don't use it a ton, but like if I'm like desperately looking for something, or I'm like, wait, what books am I supposed to return? I will use it.
Yeah, I know that the website is very, like, the catalog page is mobile friendly, so we're just going to try to like while we're in between having apps, we're gonna just encourage people to use the catalog on the, like through their browser
Mhm.
instead. So I know we'll get a better one, I think, when we do get another one. There'll just have to be another learning curve, you know. Let's see. And I think I wrote this about Beanstack, but I think I wrote this last month too about we're going to change. We went ahead and did sign the contract with them to have a different platform for doing the online, the digital portion of the summer reading club, and next year the winter reading club. So we're looking forward to working with them. We think it'll be a lot nicer and a lot more fun for people to use than the current thing we're using. That's about all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a
about
couple.
what's
I have a
going on?
couple. You know, number one, how was business between Christmas and New Year's?
You know, to me, it just felt like normal. And I think that's also because maybe a lot of libraries were closed. So I think we picked up some of that business from, I know Richmond Heights was closed because they had a COVID case, and then Maplewood closed for the holiday. And so I think, you know, with and then Webster closed because of they didn't have COVID, but they had somebody who was thought to maybe have it, so they had to close. I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. It was fine.
My other question is, the other day I went on to find a book in the catalog, and instead of the usual page, it was this very weird graphic, and it didn't say Brentwood Library. It said something else, and I went on about 2 or 3 times. Were we experimenting with something, or was I just hacked or something?
Did it say the Municipal Library Consortium?
No. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was. And then the next day I went on and it was the same as it always has been. But
Huh.
it was very weird. I didn't know if maybe something happened and we got hacked by.
Not that I had heard of.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay. It could be the day I had margaritas, but I didn't.
Or was that eggnog? I think you said you were.
The odds are good actually lately. So okay. Anything else for Jenna? If not, we're going to move on to old business. First thing we have is the 2021 budget, which we have adopted, but since we are now going to be paying utilities, a prorated share of utilities, Lynn, you want to explain the changes that I think you sent this around to everybody, but.
I did. At this point, we really don't know how much the utilities are going to cost, and I just threw $5,000 a month in there. I hope it's enough.
Yeah.
I know that the city is working on getting us an estimate. Actually, they should be working on sending a bill soon, I'm sure. So we'll know by February how much it should be each month. So I think in terms of voting for an amendment to the budget, it's probably better to wait till February when we know for sure what the dollar amount is going to be. But even at $5,000 a month, that certainly kind of hit the bottom line a little hard. So that's another $60,000 for the year that's gone.
Yikes.
I think
So,
Lynn made a good point that what this does also is give us a little bit more of idea of what we might be paying for utilities if or when we move to another space too. So we've been getting away with very low utility costs, obviously, for a long time, right? So
I think we got away with the steal of a lifetime, being able to pay $550 a month for 74 years.
yeah,
Yeah, 74.
I remember most of those too. All right. Any questions on the budget? I don't think we need to take any action because we do adjust it through sometimes in the middle of the year, right? When we have adjusted
Yes.
categories. So
Mm-hmm.
do we have a vote on those in the past? I don't think we did we? Maybe we did. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I think so.
I know that we voted when we changed when we moved money into different pots at year end, that was something we had to vote on. And I
Yes.
know that Karen always wanted that information. But I don't know that that's going to be as significant anymore. I don't know that we have to follow some of the same guidelines.
I think it would be a good idea.
Okay,
I mean, if we're going to be audited, we might as well put as many things in there as we might possibly need.
So Lynn, do you want to make a motion that we adjust the budget for 2021 to include?
shouldn't we hold off until February when we know
Yeah.
the actual rate?
Okay,
Because we
that
might
was
have to change it again anyway.
our conversation, and I thought it would be better to wait till then, so. Okay,
So,
anything else in on the budget?
not on the budget.
Okay, and like she said, I've been in touch with Bola, and I know her staff, I think, has been in touch with you. Am I right, Jenna? About trying to figure out prorated utility amounts, so we hope to have that by February.
I don't know, February, we'll see. They don't even know where some of those meters, like what those meters go to, so we'll.
Did I say February 2021?
Yeah.
The next thing on our agenda is the Library Facilities Committee report, and all I will say is that our first meeting is January 26th, which is the fourth Monday, right? And you'll get a notice from me and a Zoom notice. Jenna, if you can set that up.
I need to do the Zoom.
Meeting on the 26th. And
Is
I'll
it-
I'll send a note out about what specifically I'd like us to address in that opening meeting and everything. So
Is it Monday or Tuesday?
It's Monday.
The 25th?
It's the 25th, yeah.
Okay.
My God,
what did I say, 26th?
Mhm.
yeah.
Monday, the 25th at 6:30. So we'll get a notice out to you. Employee Handbook Committee report. I understand that there is no report yet tonight. Is that right?
Right, we'll do it next time.
Okay. The accounting status, anything, Lena and Jenna, where we stand with PERC and getting things turned over?
Well, we moved all of our investment account into our checking account, so we don't have to worry about being short paying bills this month. We've got plenty, which is good. I've got payroll set up to run on our own this Friday, so just fingers crossed, maybe say a little prayer or whatever. I'm sure it will go fine.
Jennifer said she was doing 2 test runs first, so I would think that that would have gotten rid of most of the bugs, if not all of them.
Well, we'll see.
So,
And we'll get more from the treasurer's report. And I'll just remind you, as a public entity, we can't say prayers, but we'll
Oh, right, sorry, yes.
still hope.
Best wishes.
Lynn, you want to add anything now or just wait till the treasurer's report?
I'll wait till the treasurer's report.
Okay. Next are the goals for 2021. And you all should have received the final copy after some suggestions and discussion. And just to reiterate, our main goals are: number 1 is to implement the new lease agreement with the city. Number 2 is to implement new accounting procedures. Number 3 is to implement a written safety plan for the staff and patrons. Number 4 is to reopen the library for full services when appropriate. And number 5 is the library facilities subcommittee to study options for new or renovated space. I want to just have a quick discussion on how you want to, shall we say, hold ourselves to getting these done. We can follow up on each meeting and see where we're at. The new lease agreement, of course, we will have much more at our next meeting about that. The accounting procedures, we are getting a report every meeting, and we want to retain a bookkeeper. And I guess what I'm asking is, do we want to have a couple people from the board maybe keep track of and monitor each of these goals and report back at our meetings? Would that make sense? So the accounting procedures like Lynn and Jenna could report back, something like that.
Sure.
And the written safety plan, that's something that Jenna, you've already come up.
Cindy and I, we're gonna, yeah, work on
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah, and so that'll be, you'll be coming back to the board with that in the next month or two. What do you think?
Sure.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Shall we just see? I feel like right now I don't want to commit too heavily.
All right,
That
well,
might be more like a March.
I guess what I'm saying, okay, so the lease committee is probably going to be myself and Jeanette and Jenna, and the accounting is Lynn and Jenna. Do you see a pattern developing, Jenna?
Mm.
And
And
that's fine, you know, but
written
that just,
safety plan is Cindy and Jenna, right?
Yeah.
And reopen. And then the library facilities subcommittee. We know who is on that. Who would like to work with Jenna? And Jenna, you're obviously going to be doing the major work on this, is reopening and everything, but I'd love to have one or two of our newer board members maybe jump in and help you out with some of that, if that makes sense.
I'll help.
Kelsey's jumping in. Kathy, was that you too?
Kelsey and Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, so Jenna, Kelsey, and Kathy.
Sweet.
And what I'm looking at is maybe every meeting, all we do is you say, well, we've got a report, or this is what we're doing, or we don't have a report. But as we know, sometimes goals of an organization sound real good at the beginning of the year, and then we forget to go revisit them during the year.
Mm.
That's what we're going to want to do. Who else? I'm trying to remember. Gary, you're on the facilities subcommittee, am I right?
You are so right, yes.
And Cindy and
Yeah.
Jenna and Jeanette and
I think Kathy O'Neill is.
Kathy, you're
Yeah.
a member ex officio, so to speak, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So, Lori and Angela, I'm going to be thinking about which of these goals you might want to help work with, if you don't mind. And unless you have right now an idea, but if not, just email me and we'll put you on that, okay? If that's all right. Okay, that's kind of what I wanted to accomplish as far as the goal. I think we've, I'm sorry. I guess we need to approve them formally. So is there a motion to approve the goals for 2021?
So moved.
It's been
Who's
moved,
that?
seconded.
Net.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Bye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much. Okay, I already submitted, gave you the timetable and what I would like us to do, and I think Jenna, you have a copy of that, don't you? Somewhere. If
I'll
not,
have to I'll look for it.
okay, what I'd like to do is put that, I don't know if in our policies or wherever we keep that kind of stuff. And then also in a follow-up file in the library. I'll have it in my follow-up file, but that way we make sure we meet our timetable on certain things such as electing officers and tax levy rates and stuff like that. So,
Okay,
okay.
sounds good.
Now, the library lease with the city. Here's where we stand. The lease that was supposed to be reviewed on the 4th or whenever was, I'm sorry, in December, had some problems with it, some numbering problems. There were also some inclusion problems regarding insurance and with the enabling ordinance. And so we submitted those recommendations to Lisa, our attorney, and she came back with a draft after a discussion we had, Jeanette and Jenna and Len and myself and Lisa. And we She then cleaned it up. We submitted it to, or Lisa submitted it to Kevin, who is the city's attorney, and Bola, and they are now getting final approval to go to the board on the 18th. And our committee agreed with the changes. And what's going to happen now is you're going to vote on the 18th, right, Kathy? And I assume that it should be approved.
Actually, it's the 19th because of Martin Luther King
Oh,
Day.
right, the 19th.
Right.
Thank you.
It should be an agenda for that, yes.
So after they approve it on the 19th, we will probably have a Zoom meeting on the 20th just to formally approve it. And it will go into effect. And we have talked with the attorneys about making it effective retroactively so that we cover January. And I think they're finding a way to make that happen. So are there any questions about what's going on with the lease and everything? We've come a long way. It's a long journey.
Yeah.
Been a while. Any questions? Okay, if not, what I will do before we meet in the Zoom meeting is send you the final copy that the city votes on so that you can look at it in case you have any questions. Okay. Treasurer's report. Go ahead, Lynn. You got some
Okay,
you got
so
some new reports.
Yay.
I sent everybody lots of papers today. I
Yeah.
have taken all of 2020, the actual figures and the budget, and put them in QuickBooks. I've also put in the 2021 budget into QuickBooks and broken it down by month so that when we go run reports, they should be nice and pretty right out of QuickBooks. Except there's a little snafu. But for some reason, QuickBooks is set up so that you cannot have budget information on the same report as you have prior year information. I have no idea why. There doesn't seem to be any workaround. I've talked to them directly and said, how come I can't get this report with these certain things on it? I can have either or. I can either have last year's numbers or I can have budget. And I'm kind of, I mean, we could certainly print both of them to give people that view and see how we feel going forward. I feel a little bit like maybe last year's numbers or prior year numbers aren't quite as meaningful simply because there's always a timing issue. You know, okay, gee, this month is higher in janitorial services, for example, than last month, the same time last month. Well, that could just be when the bill came in. We're probably going to be reminding each other of changes like letting go the employee that did janitorial and switching to a service, which meant the money moved from one pot to another. So things like that. It might be more of a headache to be monitoring that way. Whereas the budget, we've looked ahead, we looked at what we anticipate doing in the year and have budgeted appropriately. So perhaps maybe just the budget report is all we'll need. To get it nice and pretty, we do have to dump it into Excel and then hide a few columns, but otherwise it looks beautiful. There is an option to have a column for the dollar difference between actual and budget as well as the percentage. And I just felt like the percentage was enough. Sometimes you have too many columns of numbers and they just start to get blurry.
We should be able to do the rough math in our head, or, you know, to see the differences on that.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. Okay. I had a couple questions.
Okay.
First of all, I enjoyed being able to read these and make some comparisons and everything, and I appreciate your work. I had a question on a few items. First, the balance sheet.
Yes.
under accounts receivable.
Uh-huh.
Why is the 7177 a plus and not a minus? I'm trying to remember.
It's because that's money we are supposed to be collecting. There should not be a minus. Basically what happened, and the reason that the ad valorem is a minus, is that we collected more than we anticipated collecting.
Okay,
It should normally be a debit balance, should be a positive balance.
okay,
To be perfectly honest, that account has been out there for years, and I'm not sure anybody knows what it represents. So that $7,000 might be a write-off. That is one of the many accounts that has just been lingering that I really don't know where it's coming from. And I've asked the folks in the accounting department to investigate. There was something else about the, as you probably, well, as you know, because we have a negative accounts receivable, they didn't book revenue yet. So hopefully that will be booked in December, should be booked in December.
okay.
I asked how much revenue we've actually, excuse me. I asked about how much has been collected for December and did not get an answer. I just asked today, so it's not entirely surprising. Apparently we got a little bit in November that hadn't been booked for us either. And as I say, hopefully that adjustment is coming through. I know that they're swamped with all their year-end duties, and I'm just sending gentle reminders that, hey, we're still here and we're going to need this information before we switch everything over. We will be moving forward with the numbers we have, and we'll just have to go back and make adjustments to the to the December numbers once we get them. I'm hoping we'll have them by the third week of the month.
Okay,
The good news is, if you're looking at our balance sheet,
yeah,
that the 1.3 million, that's all cash money before we have collected anything for 2020 yet.
wow,
Oh, boy.
So if you look at it that way, we are very, very cash strong.
what a party. What a
Obviously,
party.
whatever we're going to collect, we're going to be spending all year, but to know that we could still go easily through the year without having to collect is just incredibly awesome for us.
Okay,
And as Jenna said, that 1.3 million got moved. Our checking account, normal checking account, hasn't been moved yet, and I expect it probably won't until they've actually settled everything.
okay,
Since we've got that much money, it's not a problem. What else did I learn today? There were some late postings of the interest to our accounts. I'm still not 100% sure. I feel like we probably should have earned at least 0.5% on our money all year, because it's in an investment company rather than just a bank. But as of now, we've only been giving credit for $2,500 of interest. So that's 0.25%. So I'm going to wait and see what the final numbers come out to be. I hope it's higher than that. I think we'll be very glad to be having a little bit more control of where we're going to get some return on our money.
Are we limited, like, like if we're in a bank or something, we're covered till 250,000, I think, whatever. Does any of that apply to us, or the accounts? Are we going to spread it around? Do you have thoughts about that? It just occurred to me the other night, in the middle of the night. I was like, eh.
Yeah.
you need to
I
get out.
don't know. I think I'm not sure that we're necessarily exempt from that.
Mhm.
I know when I talked to West Community, the person I spoke with kind of blew it off like it wasn't a big deal. We'd still be fine. But I really don't know what the status of that is.
Okay, I don't expect an answer right now, but I thought, oops, we have to worry about that.
And if we're putting it in with an investment firm, that would not necessarily follow the same rules as a bank either.
Yeah.
So that may be something we need to consider as well when we decide what to do with the money.
Lynn, I had a question on the, well, it's not the P&L, it's your income and expense statement on the second page,
Okay,
under miscellaneous expenses. For year-to-date actual, it says 11,457, and then down below you say miscellaneous includes the police who haven't been needed this year.
Correct.
Are those the same things? So we have not spent 11,000 this year on police, right? 'Cause it
No.
looks- it says-
correct. We haven't spent, I don't think we spent 11,000 in that. Have we spent 11,000 in that category?
It looks like it's year.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we sure did.
Wait, which one
Um,
are you looking at?
Miscellaneous.
Was
That,
The
there's
$6,445?
$8,000 in there is our security cameras.
Right, and then we budgeted 687.50 a month, it looks like. But then it says we spent 11,000 when we really haven't had them for most of the year. So that's what I'm wondering, if it's been miscategorized or something.
This is the one I think we go on and I can never remember. And you said it was the security cameras. It wasn't the, because we put the janitorial
Well,
service under the contractual, right?
I
Correct.
think that's what we did.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So
we-
really, our miscellaneous, and I
Was
don't-
the cameras.
I think it's-
for odds and end type things is really more like 3,000 because most of it was the security cameras,
Okay,
which,
thank you. Those are-
yeah. And so like that would have been one of the budget adjustments we would have officially changed.
Yeah, and I don't know if it matters on here, but the amount for the 6260 and the 6261, they haven't changed to 12,000 yet. I think you still have them at 6,000 each.
For
supposed to-
2020, I
Yeah,
know that it's 12,000 for 2021. Are
No,
they
it's-
supposed to-
for 2020, it was 12,000 for each category.
Okay, I will fix that.
Other questions or comments? These are getting much easier to read for you too, aren't they, I hope?
They are.
You need to use this.
Any other questions for Lynn on there? Okay. Thank you. The next thing on the agenda is new business. I don't have any new business. Does anybody have any new business?
No.
Public comments? Is that person at the door again, Jenna?
Yeah.
Executive session? None. Our next meeting is February the 2nd, 2021 at 6:30, and it'll be on the Zoom again. If there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn at, Cindy, don't faint, 7:09.
Goodness.
Woohoo!
Like Lori's face.
So moved.
Okay, Gary moved,
I'll second.
seconded, and all in favor, say aye.
Hi.
I'm not going to listen to you. All right. Thank you very, very much. We are really making progress on what we want to do.